As we're following this morning, a person in the hospital after an overnight crash. Authorities called to I-80 near 13th just before 1 o'clock this morning. We're still waiting to get a better picture regarding the extent of that person's injuries. We'll make sure to update you on air and online as soon as we know more. In the meantime, it is great to have you with us as we get started on this Wednesday for our First Alert 6 streaming. I'm Erin Hartley, joined by meteorologist Jarrett Lansford and Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. Okay, a lot of kids going back to school today. We've been saying that, though, for the past couple of days. Of course, though, OPS kindergartners are going back today, as well as many other kids. So got to be a lot more people on the roadways. We'll get to that in just a moment, but also as they're preparing them for getting that first day back to school outfit, maybe putting the sunscreen on as well. They probably should, because it's going to be a hot one. It
is going to be a hot one for sure. And the sun's going to be beating down. Not a lot in the way of cloud cover today, but overall, it's a kind of a cool start before we get there. So one of those days where it might be a little tough to figure out what to wear, because well, temperatures are in the 60s right now, but we got OPS entry-level grades heading back. Arlington, Gretna, Bennington, Blair High School, DC West, Plattsmouth, and Springfield Platteview. So if you're in any of those school districts and you don't have kids, you're probably going to notice a lot more people out and about, and you're wondering what's going on here. But yeah, school's back to session in all these places. 62 here at 7, 65 by 8, and up to 70 by 9 o'clock with mostly sunny skies. Temperatures right now, like I mentioned, in the 60s. Occasionally they dip down into the 50s, and we've had that in west central Iowa, upper 50s, 57 to about 59 degrees out there. The muggy meter, low end of the muggy range as we make our way through the morning. This should go up during the course of the day, so you can see how we start low, and then as we go through the morning, and likely the high end of the muggy range over the course of the day. Off to the northwest, there's some clouds. I don't think they're going to pose much of a risk today. That should mainly go to our north, but there's another little wave behind that that could bring some some clouds into the area, I should say, overnight tonight, and maybe even a few thunder showers by tomorrow morning. Now, the best bet for severe weather up around Rapid City, Pierce, South Dakota, and then we'd see things dive southeast tonight. And when I show you the tonight severe weather risk area, it goes for 24 hours from 7 a.m. this morning to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Takes that 24-hour window. So there could still be a few lingering showers or thunder showers by early Thursday, and that's when our best chance of rain would be over the short term. So watch how this goes. From noon on today, we'll warm through the 80s and likely top out about 87 or so by 5 o'clock. Many places in the 80s today. Pretty typical August stuff here. Tonight, by 7, pretty comfortable. By 10 o'clock, down in the 70s. And then overnight tonight, we fall off down into the 60s, but look what's moving in from the northwest. A couple of lingering showers left over off a complex that develops tonight, moves in tomorrow morning for us. Could have a few showers, maybe a thunder shower with that. So keep that in mind. Thursday will go 88 degrees, but there could be a couple of thunder showers in the morning hours to contend with. South wind picks up, warms up to 88, and then 94 on Friday with breezy conditions, and maybe a few more morning thunder showers on Friday as well. Not quite as confident in those, maybe more of an Iowa thing, but might be the start of a little bit of heat there.
Okay, and as we progress into the weekend as well, is that heat going to hang on?
I think so. We're looking at 3, maybe even 4 days of it here as we march into this weekend. So you look at the heat impact map, and the moderate to major category starts to show up. More oranges and reds on these maps for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So be mindful of that. Saturday, probably the peak of the heat. Again, we've been hotter than this so far this year, but this is just the next round I'm first alerting you to. 100 to 105 for those heat index values, and may even start to see some signs that it could go up a little bit with our forecast on Monday as well. So 94, 97, 94. Heading into Monday, we'll go 92 right now, but that's starting to trend up a little bit. Ultimately, it hinges upon when these thunderstorm chances move through. Right now, it looks like pretty late on Sunday, therefore the upward trend there. And then Monday, a little more in doubt on when those would move through. So it does look like it cools just beyond that, but we could be in line for about 4 days of 90-plus degrees here. It's been fairly cool so far for the month of August. So first one here.
We're hoping that the pools stay open for Saturday, too.
Yeah.
That's when we'll need it.
I know, that's the thing. And so all the kids go to school. I think you got a great pool weekend on the way if you got an open one.
You know, that's something to look forward to.
Exactly.
Getting through your first week, get to enjoy the pool day.
Works out perfect.
Okay. In the meantime, speaking of that back to school, traffic going to be a little bit more crowded out there this morning, but so far you're not seeing any major slowdowns.
Yeah, we haven't seen a big issue that has popped up on a lot of these roads where we have more of those students in place. Where we're seeing any slowdowns line up with our traditional construction areas. Let's take a look at some of those. And I-80 was a big headache over the last few days, and it's already starting up as you're going westbound here, approaching that Giles construction zone. Eastbound will likely start flaring up here. There's the first signs of it there just past 144. So expect it to be slow through that stretch as it has been. I also want to first alert you to this. This went in place at 5 this morning. This was 72nd northbound as you're approaching L. Some utility work that's happening in this area just today, but that's enough in just that short stretch right near L that's already causing some delays, and I expect those to grow as we continue to pick up the commute. So that's a factor to watch for. And you notice how 84th is kind of starting to slow down in Ralston here as you're approaching L. That may be some people who are saying, well, I'm not going to mess with the 72nd, I'll use 84th. So any delays that you've maybe experienced the last day or two on 84th as we've picked up traffic, we do have Ralston, La Vista, and Papillion all in session already for schools. So it could be a little slower than it has been the last couple days as you're making your way along 84th. We could check in on some of the other parts of 84th through those parts of the metro, and you can see right around Giles, pretty slow at that intersection. And as we get a little further to the south, you're getting a little slow right near Lincoln Road on Washington and Papillion, as well as Highway 370. So stands to reason that we're going to be looking at things slowing down some here as we go through the next half hour or so. And we'll keep an eye on things. You can see how there's just kind of specks of yellow showing up on the map, indicating some of that increased traffic load that we are seeing. Now, here in just a little bit, I want to zoom in and hyper focus on some of those specific school districts that are going into session today and see how those areas are handling the first day of school.
Okay, looking forward to it. Jared, thank you. Well, the search is on for a missing Omaha man last seen in the Rocky Mountain National Park. That's in Colorado. Blake Kekafer was reported missing first on Monday. He was last seen last week in the Upper Beaver Meadows area of the park. The 23-year-old was wearing a dark colored t-shirt, dark pants, and a dark baseball cap.
After the operation this morning, our city is going to be a safer place.
A years-long human trafficking investigation resulting in a large-scale law enforcement operation across the metro from Omaha to Elkhorn to Bellevue. Multiple hotels, businesses, and homes were targeted. This includes the American Inn off the Interstate by the Zoo, the New Victorian by 108th and L, and the Inn at 144th and I-80, and the Roadway Inn off of Fort Crook in Bellevue. 5 people so far have been arrested for sex, drug, and labor trafficking, as well as fraud and misuse of visas. 4 had outstanding warrants.
Without a doubt, we all know human trafficking is a form of modern-day slavery, and people living here in the heart of the heartland even are being bought or sold or exploited, leading lives of misery, whether by being forced into sexual activity, working jobs in dangerous and unsanitary conditions, being forced to work in grueling jobs of little to no pay.
Search warrants were executed at 14 businesses in total. An affidavit alleges that sex trafficking was not just allowed at the hotels, but encouraged as well. It also ties multiple defendants to alleged drug trafficking activities. Now, officials claim drug traffickers receive protection from law enforcement and human traffickers were shielded by hotel managers from law enforcement. In all, 10 kids and 17 adults were rescued during this operation. Now, one of those places investigated has been targeted for trafficking before, and back in January, we told you about 6 arrests in connection to an operation at a motel near 13th and I-80. Project Harmony says that signs of sex trafficking include children hanging out with older people, coming home with unexplained cash or new clothing, and leaving in the middle of the night. All right, still ahead, a new drug combination found in the metro, plus another check on weather and traffic when we come back. All right, welcome back. Time now 7:14 as things get started on this Wednesday morning. Taking a live look outside at Midtown and the downtown Omaha areas. Heat is the word of the day today. It's going to be a hot forecast.
Yep.
And that's going to be increasing throughout the week as well.
Yeah, and some good pool days on the way if you're still not at school, if you're looking for some things to do. Or
There's adults too, yeah.
That's a good point.
We're not going back to school.
You can go without the kids and enjoy it a little lower key if you want to. You got a pretty good one on the way today and tomorrow. You got upper 80s today and tomorrow afternoon. The afternoons, probably the coolest we're going to have for a little while. So if you don't want to be in the intense heat, today and tomorrow are what you're looking for. The weather headlines of the beautiful sunrise. You got sunshine and some temperatures near average today, probably tomorrow too. You got some spotty morning thunder shower potential Thursday and Friday, and then that leads us into the weekend when the heat starts to build in. So if you want to get the yard mode as well, again, some things you have to do, some things you want to do. You got Wednesday and Thursday. Today and tomorrow probably the best weather because it'll be the coolest. Friday and Saturday it heats up a little bit more and it might be a little less enjoyable to be outside. This cluster of clouds travels across South Dakota this morning, but later on we could develop some thunderstorms tonight that drift into our area by early Thursday morning, and there'd be leftover storms and likely just fizzling showers as they move in. So you can get a little idea here. You got mid 80s by 3. And then we head towards 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Not too much happening. Tonight's pretty quiet. Clouds will increase after midnight. And there's that batch of thunder showers. So the best bet of maybe one being a little stronger with some wind. Be up around Norfolk and Wayne, I would say. And then the leftover bits travel in here by the morning drive. And that's what we'll be watching for Thursday morning. And you can see the wind picks up. We go to 88 for the high. And there's what's left of those thunder showers here in the morning hours on Thursday. And we see those even fizzle a little more. There could be a couple of new ones fire up from time to time during that morning drive, and then just not too much left by the time we get to lunch. And then we start to heat it up to 88 degrees for the afternoon high Thursday, 94 by Friday. And you can see the impacts from the heat in the moderate to major category. We showed you this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Looks like it's going to be a warm stretch there as we march a little closer to some of that heat. So the muggy meter, it goes up as well. Likely to be up there in the steamy range. And the 10-day forecast shows you 3 days at least to 94, 97, 94, where the heat is going to be noteworthy. We've been hotter this year, but this is just the next stretch of it to first alert you to here in the middle of August.
All right, back to school, of course, for the many kids. It doesn't really feel like the fall time yet, though. Going into next week, though, any chance that we'll start to cool off a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's still going to feel mostly like summer, though, and next week will be the first full week of school for all these kids that are heading back this week, and we'll likely start in the 90s with some thunderstorm chances early in the week. By the end of the week, cooling off just a little bit more. And you can see a lot of the heat here longer term by the end of the month now starts to get pushed a little farther west. So every day we show you this, you get the latest trend, and western part of the country probably going to be the warmest. So that likely means a lot of 80s maybe to end the week. Got this batch of 90s though. We'll get close to it tomorrow, and then Friday through at least Monday, the way it looks, likely to be a pretty toasty round of heat.
Yeah, out west they've had some really nice temperatures, and now they're getting their fair share.
It's all going to kind of backtrack west and cook them for a little bit.
All right, that's fun. All right, in the meantime, let's get another update on traffic with Jared.
Yeah, and just watching how things are unfolding this morning, it's really been pretty smooth. I made sure to cross my fingers. So you can't blame me if it goes awry. This is what it's looking like through the metro, though. Give you an idea, and it's not a bad start at all with how things are moving. You're seeing things pretty smooth, including some of those areas where we are seeing school back for the first time this year. And this is right around Gretna there as you're going on I-80 outside of the interstate, also moving well. I want to first alert you and remind you that we do have that closure on the ramp of 480 as you're trying to get to Harney. We did have some issues here yesterday as people were trying to get to the Leavenworth exit. It's already a little slow on that ramp, so keep that in mind this morning. Also, slowing down now eastbound on I-80, as I mentioned, may happen as you're heading through this construction zone near Giles. So a couple of spots that are seeing the problems. Not as much in some of the school zones. Going back to Gretna here, you got 370 a little slow approaching 192nd. You're getting pretty close to some of the schools there. And as you shift a little further to the south, you do have Highway 6 in Gretna proper a little slow, but again, nothing major showing up there. Heading north toward Bennington, you've got some delays on 156. That's been pretty consistent through the morning that we've seen at least a little slowing, but nothing that is a huge deal there. And then just a little slow on State Street here as you're making your way through parts of Bennington, but nothing that is going to be a big headache for you if you're out and about at the moment anyway. We zoom out, you can see that Highway 370 as you're getting around 48th or so westbound is a little bit slow. Keep that in mind. And then just some periodic minor delays that you're seeing on parts of Dodge. Remember, we do have some of the OPS students that are in session today too, along with many other districts around the area. We'll just keep adding on to that over the coming days, but a pretty decent start to the first day for many.
All right, we like to see that green. Jared, thank you. A first alert to a warning from Omaha Police and Drug Enforcement. They say there is a dangerous new drug combination on our streets. It's called purple fentanyl. Now, police say it's coming up from Kansas City. It's been here for about 2 weeks. Looks like that. They've already seen a couple of overdose cases. OPD says that officers are working to get out in front of any potential spreading of drugs popularity. Also today, it is the first day back, as we've been talking about, for many Metro students. OPS welcoming kindergartners, as well as the entry-level grades at middle and high schools. The rest start tomorrow. All Gretna and Bennington public school students are also going back, as are 9th through 12th graders at Blair Community Schools. K through 8th kick off their year a week from today. Best of luck. Still ahead, congratulating one of our very own, the prestigious honor he received when we come back. Well, girls in North Carolina who were gifted dolls in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene last year are now paying it forward. They packed up those dolls for girls impacted by the deadly flooding in Texas. The girls packed up more than 40 dolls. Oh, those are nice dolls. Yeah. American Girl dolls. The founder of the initiative says it's all about kindness and healing. The girls' moms also pitched in by writing cards of encouragement to the moms of the girls in Texas. That is such a great, meaningful, really good lesson there. All right, in the meantime, a big congrats to one of our very own this morning. Our Mike McKnight was inducted officially into the Nebraska Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame. Mike has received all kinds of prestigious awards for his investigations, his consumer protection stories as well. So once again, a big congrats getting up there and getting his little plaque. I mean, he is really hardest worker.
Yeah, the amount of people he knows, the connections he's made, it feels like he'd work 8 days a week if there was.
I mean, he's working when he's not supposed to be working. And we know this because he sends us emails at odd hours and say, Mike.
And it's not just his stories either. Like, he's giving me traffic tips on his day off.
He forwards me ideas.
He's savvy, and he's got his fingertips on everything going on around the city.
He is really a gem that we have at the station.
Lucky to have him.
We are very fortunate to have him.
Big congrats.
Absolutely. All right, time now for the First Alert 6 team to prepare for our update in the Today Show. We'll give you a bird's eye view as we work. You can watch that cut in right here on the stream or over the air. Thanks for watching. Have a great start to your Wednesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
The time now 7:26. Good Wednesday morning. It's great to have you with us. I'm Erin Hartley. Jared's checking a couple different spots across the metro for traffic.
And some slowdowns that are showing up in those areas, including westbound I-80. Of course, it's been slow near that construction zone near Giles for months, but this is one of the worser mornings with it backing up into the 680 interchange. And give you an idea, you're talking about speeds that are around 10 to 20 miles per hour through there. So prepare for that to be a spot where you really get slowed. Also, I want you to watch 480 as you're getting near Leavenworth. That could back up this morning with the ramp closed at Harney. One more real quick, 72nd. A short stretch this morning with one lane travel northbound near L. That likely to be slow. 84th also slowing down with people using that as an alternate route.
More and more traffic out there because of all the schools heading back over the course of this week. And you got beautiful weather if you are heading back today. All around the area. Sunrise looking good. We're at 63 right now, but the dew point 62. So we are seeing a little bit of patchy fog in some spots. A lot of low 60s on the map as we get started. So comfortable as you head out, but it will warm up pretty quickly. The muggy meter goes up as well as we start off the day. Fairly muggy, but it increases over the course of the morning. And that all lines up with sunshine and a high of about 87 later on this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. So it does warm up pretty quickly this morning, and that'll turn into 87, like I mentioned. 88 on Thursday, small chance of a couple spotty morning showers to watch for, and then the heat starts to build in Friday with a high of 94 degrees. Aaron?
Breaking news we have been following this morning. A person is in the hospital after an overnight crash. Authorities called to I-80 near 13th just before 1 o'clock this morning. We are still waiting to get a better picture regarding the extent of that person's injuries. Time now 7:28. Back here in about 25 minutes with another update.